just to get.
Okay.
So, as parents, we don't look at whining as disruptive and crybabies, right? We look at whining as this is the way that they communicate, and we just have to figure out what this whine means so that
Right.
we appease them the way that they desire to be appeased, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we take that shift and we actually look at what the writer said in the book, I begin to look at that. I'm like, yo, that is true, because children, as they get older, they just want to explore. And so this white kid can go explore. But our black children can't, because if they do that, they're gonna get looked at as horrible. So
Right.
we have to keep them underneath a tight leash. And what ends up happening as we grow into adulthood, we create this fake standard of being in this box. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start teaching him.
You gotta teach. Come on. This is unorthodox. Remember, we're just flowing with it.
I'll tell you. So when we look at that, and we're like, we have to stay within this tight, confined box of this is how things are supposed to be. It's supposed to be structured and ordered and decent, and there should be no freedom, right? Like we're not allowed to have freedom. And that's how we raise our kids, because that's what we believe. Because the reality is, we believe that because we're fearful. We know as soon as our children go outside, something could happen to them. Just because of who they are, not because they're children or because of a freak accident or because of crime. Just because of who they are, they can get killed.
Right.
We wear a hoodie down the street eating Skittles. You ain't did nothing, bro. But because you're black with a hoodie on, you get killed. And so what ends up happening is we live in this fearful box, and we establish and structure our life around that. And when I say that, like understanding that actually blew my mind. That was something that God was dealing with me about when my youngest child was. I wanted to have this structured life, you know what I mean? And God was like, you can't have this structured life. You got to allow them to be children. And so the older my daughter got, the more I began to give her free reign. And granted, her mom helped me with that, because she's like, yo, you got to be a kid. Dude. And so I began to give her free reign. And reading that, it really just began to blow my mind. And at that point, I really began to actually, because everything really happened around the same time. I read The Black Friend, that's another book I would love. I mean, I tell people all the time to read, especially Black folk, because sometimes we look at being Black as a culture thing, when the reality is we're just Black. Like I'm like, you can't act Black, you can't be Black, you're just Black. And they're like, oh, not true. I'm like, you would be amazed how many people think that we have to be Black, when the reality is we're just. So I read The Black Friend, and that just changed my perception of you can't act Black. You are.
That's who you are. That's your, you're born into this world a Black person. There is nothing you don't have to learn it. You don't have to this is just who you are, your outward appearance, everything. So I get it.
Absolutely. So I read that, and then I transitioned from The Black Friend to Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And those two books right there excelled me mentally. They actually freed me, and they actually read the books around the same time I got into my mental health journey.
Wow. Okay.
So they all happened at once. It's like everything just was like, boom. I'm just like, wow.